Sound is speeding. Video speeds.
Had too much coffee, we're all speeding. This looks like some old plumbing to me. What do we have going on in here?
Okay, basically what you got there is 2 CO2 bottles. So one of them are for my pneumatic parachute, and the second is something my dad built in there because I wanted to have a, I don't know, as you would call kill switch. So this button right here on my transmission, I could hit it and put it into overboost. So if I thought that I just needed a little bit more to win or was trying to go all out, I would use that. And I'm not real big on trusting electronics to control boosts.
Yeah.
So in that respect, everything was done with CO2 on the top side of the wastegate. So it would actually click over, convert, and it would give me 4 to 6 pounds of boost. He could preset it, it was adjustable.
So you adjust the CO2 to the amount of pressure you need to open the wastegate.
Correct. Well, what it would do is it would close.
Close
it, yeah. So, and then I could get more by hitting the button and hopefully be successful.
That's your too soon junior moment?
Too soon, Junior.
Possibly.
Where you just hammer on that and put it, that's super cool.
Yeah.
I've never heard something like that. That's pretty cool. Because
Yes.
now, I mean, with everything going on, yeah, everything's electronically controlled or vacuum controlled and stuff like that. But that's pretty cool. So let's walk through what we have going on here as well with the shifter and
Okay,
brake.
so
is this your chute?
that is the reverse switch.
Reverse, okay.
So the chute lever's right up here.
Oh, okay.
All the controls are up here. And what you're asking about is that nice, expensive Motec harness that comes off the transmission
Yeah.
that monitors every gear. Now, basically, that is controlling that Coney box right there, so I can
Okay.
change my suspension on the fly. And so usually, primarily, it was for the 1-2 leave off the line, okay? So that way I could lock it down to get out the hole as fast as possible, and it would convert so I wouldn't be out of control going down. We had lots of programmability in it, but the most important was the 1-2 shift.
Yeah. And you could adjust that on the fly.
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
wow.
well, not so much on the fly because it had to be controlled by the box.
Right, by the box. So
yep.
if you had communication with the team and say, hey, I need...
After I did the burnout and back up, especially if somebody had wrecked or something in front of me, they'll switch it. And that's
Okay.
really not my call. My dad would make the call.
Okay.
My job is to just try and get us down to the end.
Keep it
Yeah,
straight.
Basically, yes. And,
Keep
and I
it
wasn't
straight.
very good at that either, my man. So really, they would take care of all that and monitor all this stuff, and it would all be, you know how it is with the team. It's really the team that does it, not me.
Right.
So luckily, my bro Kenji, which you met here, he really had my back, on the track and off the track, as
Yeah.
we would oftentimes get in trouble.
Right. So now with safety and restraints and stuff, I think it was probably a little bit looser back in the day than it is now, but it's still pretty crazy for all this stuff. I mean, looking at the hoop of the car and everything else. And then the seat isn't like what we see today with most guys have to run a halo for almost everything.
Honestly, Dad, I just don't keep up with any of that stuff because I'm not going to do it. But I mean, at the time, this was just another case. At the time, I was sponsored by Sparco, and Gary told me that, dude, nobody runs that type of seat in a drag car. I said, Gary, I like the way that looks, so please make it work. And I got the look, that
Yeah.
look. But
Exactly.
he made it work. He made it work for me, and I just love it.
I'm seeing a theme with you.
Yes. I'm basically
Just
what I am is a
sacrifice
pain
a
in the
little
ass
bit.
to work with. Is what I am. That's the theme, brother.
Sacrifice a little bit to make it look good. And that, I mean, as drifting, that's kind of what a lot of us do is make it look good.
Yes.
And don't really do too much for performance. But this has way more
And
performance.
Dan, seeing that you might be single soon, we must always remember that women only care about looks as far as I'm concerned. And all the years I raced this car, I never heard a woman say, how fast they go, wow, it just looks great.
Yeah.
Yes, it just looks great.
Yeah. So with everything else, you have fire suppression, I see.
And there's going right there, my man.
This is all,
Yes.
like I see one nozzle here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then I assume there's some in the engine bay? Or?
Yes.
And what
Yes,
above?
engine bay, all sorted through the interior. Is it lucky? There's a story behind that if you want to hear it. So,
Yes.
This car was really, really late, and it's much of my fault. So as with any project that's really late, you just don't have a lot of time to test or do anything. So one mishap that happened is that we were in a rush to get it to testing, and Gary didn't have time to plumb the suppression system, so was mine. So of course, what do you think happened? Fire.
Of course. Yeah. The one thing you
Yeah,
miss.
of course. Yeah, so I had a nice barbecue, and then luckily afterwards, we got it all fixed for sure before we went out next time.
That's my new favorite terminology of barbecue.
Yeah.
I hope I never have to have that, but
I hope so too, brother.
that is satisfying.